Breakfast with your Coys. Oh yeah. Breakfast with your Coys. Breakfast with your Coys. Oh yeah. Breakfast with your Coys. Breakfast with your Coys.
Good morning, or happy Wednesday, happy hump of the week. It's another day in paradise at Tottenham Hotspur. Injuries galore, nobody coming through the door. A massive Champions League game tonight with next to no fit players. The board have no idea. The fans don't know what direction we're going in. And everyone is thoroughly and utterly fed up with the club. But hey, it is what it is. Like I say, it's just another day at Tottenham Hotspur for us fans. We are used to it, aren't we? Good morning, guys. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week. It is Champions League day. It is game day. Before we get into today's show, please do me the honour. As always, wipe your feet as you come in. Please like the stream. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you really want, hit that bell notification so you know when all of my content is about to drop. Though I do know that is really annoying, so you don't have to do that. Like and subscribe, though. That is very important. Guys, let's get into the show. Early doors. I'll have my little rant and then I'll go to the chat. We are 5 days away from the window shutting. And Spurs. It's done next to nothing, right? We have done next to nothing. I got to big up Luke, because he put a post on X. And I'm going to read it out to you, and I think it's absolutely apt about where Spurs are. Apparently, Spurs bid 70 million for Savinho in the summer. Apparently, Spurs were returning with a similar bid in January. Apparently, Spurs inquired about Semenyo. Apparently, Spurs have a £150 million war chest. What is going on at our club? I just think it's all fake. It's all fake news. It's all bollocks. People upstairs say what they want to say. They make up stuff to make us fans believe that something good is about to happen. But year on and year out, we get let down again and again and again. Every single transfer window. And this one, let's be honest, has been no different. We've been linked. Again, actually, the links have been pretty quiet, I think, this month. But players like Agaluche, players that would walk into our team, a really highly rated young player, but not too young, 23 years old. I think he'd set the lane alight. I know many fans agree with me. Agaluche is the perfect signing for Spurs. Bring him in. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I find this interesting today. And again, it is what Thomas Frank has said. And he has said this: you can be pushed and forced into make decisions you don't really want to take. Tottenham will not be forced to make decisions they don't want to make in the transfer market due to injuries. That tells me that we are not going to sign anybody. And then we have this from, again, Thomas Frank's transfer requests. Hugo Bueno, a Wolves fullback who has, again, a young player who's hardly played any games. Sam Johnston as a Kinski replacement. No better, no worse than Kinski, in my opinion. Another player we've been linked with for years. Somerville from West Ham. For me, not the man. Sade, probably the only one on the list that I would think, yeah, I'd take him. Jorgen Strand Larsen, playing for Wolves. Again, it's had a terrible season for Wolves. Yeha Yarmolik from Brentford. Again, not bad, but hardly moves the needle. And Mads Harmison, if we don't get Johnson. These are the kind of players that we are being linked with, guys. It tells me that we are nothing more than a mid to lower Premier League side currently. And we have absolutely no ambition whatsoever. The board have come out, the kids have come out and said they are going to put the team first. They are going to make the team better. We are going to win more than we lose. And so far, we are seeing absolutely nothing coming in through the door, especially in the areas we need players. Massive Champions League game tonight and a game that we have to win. And it sounds stupid because we're probably going to get a playoff place at worst, but we don't want those extra 2 games, or do we? Does the board want those extra 2 games? Another night at the lane under the lights, more money for the Spurs, board, the owners. But a massive game for us fans. We want to win, finish in that top 8. We have next to no fit players. I mean, you can put that down on the board, I guess, but we haven't got the squad. We are so weak, and we are literally down to the bare bones today, tonight. Obviously, Porro now out for a month at least. Says 4 weeks. No in Tottenham, probably be 8 weeks. Van der Ven out with a slight injury. Probably means we won't see him again this season. We have so many problems at Spurs, and I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure where we go from here. Let's say hello to the chat because it is all about you guys. Join in throughout the show. Give me your opinions. Ask any questions. It is all about you. Without you, there is no show. Marcus said, morning, Nige. Still no sign of players coming in apart from the ones no one else wants. Absolutely bang on, mate. It's what we do, right? It is what we do. No doubt we will get a couple of loans in before the end of the window or a free transfer or something. Look, and the board will say they've done a great job. It is what it is. Cookie's in. Big up Cookie. Says, morning, mate. Where are the signings? Oh, I forgot. This is Tottenham. It is, mate. This is what we expect, right? This is what we do. We don't sign the players that we need, but I'm kind of numb to it now. You know what I mean? I'm kind of at that point where I was just like, oh, you know what? This is what we do every window. I must admit, I fell for it again. I fall for it every window. I will probably fall for it in the summer as well. But when Johnson left on the 1st of January, I thought, I like that. The club is acting differently. Maybe the board are telling, maybe the kids are putting the team first. Johnson's going, we must have someone coming in. We have to, right? Well, 27, 28 days later. Not the movie, that's a cracking movie. We've done nothing. We've done nothing to replace Johnson, and not even surprised anymore. Let's see what happens in these last 5 days. I'm not expecting much. Guys, drop a comment in. Let me know how many players you think we will sign in the next 5 days. And give me some names. Who do you think we will sign? Who do you want us to sign? I'm going to put my cards on the table. I would love us to sign Agaluche. Again, for me, it's all too late. Wouldn't surprise me at all if we put a bid in on transfer deadline day, and then Monaco have been like, it's too late, mate. We've got no time to get a replacement. And then Spurs will be, we tried. It is what it is. But drop a comment in there, guys. Let me know who you think we will sign, and let me know who you'd want to sign. Realistic, of course. The Wiz, big up, mate, says, is no one at the club concerned over the threat of relegation? It's very real. Looking at our run of fixtures the next 4 games, lose all of them, and morale will be rock bottom. Um, exactly. Our next 4 games are massive. Though, mate, knowing Spurs, they will pick up a win somewhere in them. We all think we will lose all 4 of them. I certainly do. It wouldn't surprise me if we beat Newcastle. Wouldn't surprise me if we got something against City. But if we lose all 4, I can definitely see West Ham winning at least 1. And if they win 1 and draw 1, 4 points suddenly, the gap has narrowed. I'd expect Palace to win 1 in the next 4. I'd expect Nottingham Forest to win 1 in the next 4. And if that happens suddenly, then if we lose them all, we are in that bottom 4 and really fighting for our lives. The next 4 games are massive, not only for us, but for the clubs around us. And we are looking over our shoulder. There's no doubt about it. We're looking over our shoulder, and it's just not good enough. It's not good enough. Big up, Rain. Says an angry Nige. I didn't know such a thing existed. Um, yeah, it does now and again. Usually when I'm driving, mate, I am the worst at road rage. But other than that, I'm pretty chilled. I think the Spurs are just. I'm not even angry, mate. I am just frustrated and a little bit meh with it all, if I'm honest. Simon Cohen said, "Morning, Nige. Good morning to you, Simon. I hope you are well." And he said, "The club drives you mad." It does. It does. But what can we do? What can we do? Apart from moan about it, right? That's all we can do. It's so frustrating being a Tottenham fan. Sheriff said, "Morning, Nige. Big up, mate. Big up to you, Sheriff. I hope you're well. I hope you're not working too hard. Are you at work today? The floods have subsided in Yeovil. Um, hopefully, I've got to go to work after this. Not looking forward to it, but I think I have an afternoon off, which is quite nice." And Rodney is in saying, "Good morning. Have Spurs got the money to spend?" I don't think so. Possibly, guys. What do we make of that? Have Spurs got the money to spend? Is it all like a facade? You know, someone said something the other night on a show that I was on, and I think it's really true. We've got this beautiful fronted like shop, haven't we, in the stadium? And yeah, what's behind it is just it's all a facade. Maybe we haven't got that kind of money. Maybe who knows? Maybe the owners now are very much like there's a big debt to pay off. Let's pay that. I don't know. There's a lot to do at Spurs, and I'm not quite sure where to turn. It is head scratching. It really is. Mark Pitt says it's a shame that all clubs can change their managers in the window. I don't even. You know what? I don't even think this is a Thomas Frank thing anymore. I've gone past the Thomas Frank thing. I was very much for wanting Frank out, even up to a week ago. This guy's not good enough. He's not the man to take us forward, and I still don't think he is. I still don't think Thomas Frank is the man to take us forward. But I really feel sorry for him right now. He has not been backed at all, and just like every other manager before him since Enic took over, they have not been backed. Not fully, not absolutely fully. Sometimes, Ange had a lot of money spent. Again, it wasn't on the right players, was it? So yeah, listen, I feel for Frank. He's not the man to take us forward, but he's not getting backed at all. And whereas I wouldn't like a Yarmulke, or a Sade, well, Sade I wouldn't mind, or some of the players I mentioned earlier, if Frank wants them and that's backing him, you know what? Bring them in. Let's see what we do. But you know what? Spurs are quite clever, aren't they? They're quite a clever club in the fact that, you know what? They'll make a couple of signings before the end of the window. And I know Rain is saying now I think we will sign no players. It will be meltdown in the Tottenham fan base, won't it? If we sign no players, Rain. I think we will sign a couple of players, and a lot of the fans will be like, "Oh, wow, we signed a couple of players. That's all right." But I don't think the quality is going to be great. I think we will be signing more deadwood. But let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Sheriff says it doesn't affect our lives, so stuff Tottenham. It doesn't really in the long run, does it? It doesn't affect our lives at all. But one thing that Tottenham have been in my life, and I'm guessing all of your lives as well, is a constant. The one constant in my life is Tottenham Hotspur. And my love for Tottenham Hotspur will never die. Will never die. Even though they always let me down. Every year, Tottenham let me down. But I will always come back for more, because I couldn't imagine my life without Tottenham. So, and that is where the club gets us, right? That is where they get us, which is really sad. Stephen's in saying, "Morning, nice. Sometimes I wish I could go back 50 years and support a different team. Spurs are really bad for my mental health, but sadly, they will always be in my heart. Come on, you Spurs." Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Exactly what I just said, mate. I didn't even look at your message. It's like we're telepathic. Um, but yeah, I agree. Sometimes I wish I could go back. Though saying that, the team I would have supported aren't doing any better. So maybe I'm better off with Spurs. I was very nearly a Nottingham Forest fan. Um, mainly because when I was like 5 and 6, I had a purse. Anyone around my age will know. They used to do like little purses for football fans, and they were little plastic purses, and they had different badges on, and I had Nottingham Forest one. Don't know why. I guess around 78, 79, 80, Forest were one of the big teams. So yeah, I was close to being a Forest fan before my dad sat me down and told me I was a Tottenham fan. So there you go. Guys, drop a comment and let me know who you nearly supported before Tottenham, if you did. Shara said, "Nah, mate, couldn't be bothered with work. Fair play, buddy. I'm kind of feeling the same today. I have got one job on, which I will go to after this, and then I'm going to do a bit of paperwork. I think maybe pop in the town, grab a coffee, live the high life for the afternoon. Who knows, guys? 50 in the house already. That's a really good turnout. Smash that like button. It is so important. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel as well. I am chasing down 1,400, 10 subs away now from 1,400. So if I could get that today, that would be absolutely amazing. Jason H said, "I've got it, Nige. Hire Levy as the interim coach. I'm sure he thought he could do it anyway." You know what? Let's not do that. But Levy's gone, and we're in even more of a mess, aren't we? We are in even more of a mess. Nobody knows what they're doing. Find it interesting yesterday. This made me laugh today, and hopefully it will. You guys saw this on Twitter. The new um the new band around in town are this: No Direction. Absolutely bang on. This club is a mess from top to bottom. It really is. And that's how it feels, right? It feels like we have no direction whatsoever. And it's really depressing. It's really depressing. Ghosted said, "Big up Nigel in chat. Good morning to you, Ghosted. I hope you're well, buddy." And Rain says, "Money isn't the problem. We are loaded. The problem is that we have a full squad list and they don't want to have more players than they can register." This is a really good point, actually, Rain. You're bang on with that. As much as fans, we want players in. If you look at all the players we have injured, we have a mass of injuries and a mass of players sat on that sideline. And as much as I would love to bring in an Agaluche, because I think he'd be brilliant for Spurs, we've got a Kulusevski and a Madison to come back and a Kudus to come back, and they all kind of play in a similar position. Um, so what do we do? It's one of those, isn't it? We definitely need some players in. But yeah, with the amount of injuries we got as well, it's not like we can easily get players out. So there is a bit of a problem there. I agree, but again, this is what's been said on other shows, and I agree. Big clubs don't worry about that. Big clubs don't worry. They just bring the players in, they sort out the problem later. We need players, we need bodies through the door, and we need to improve the squad. The main reason for me, the main thing is we've been searching for that left winger for, well, since Sonny left, right? And we haven't replaced him. And in the summer, we were going to get a Savinho. Apparently, all the news, all summer, we were after a Savinho. We never got him. And we haven't done anything to address that in January. And I think as fans, we all thought we would. Now, maybe the player we want isn't available. And maybe, as Thomas Frank says, I don't just want to bring anyone in. But you would think there would be some sort of plan. And it feels like there isn't at the moment, in my opinion. Dino's in. Big up Dino. Says, "Morning, Nige. The only way things can change is a boycott of a game." I agree. Sadly, I just don't think fans are going to do that, are they? I know there is some sort of protest at the game on Sunday inside the stadium. Don't know any details about it, but yeah, all I can think is that maybe they might be doing some sort of walkout there. But again, you have to have the numbers, right? It's no good if only 150 people walk out of a 60,000 seat stadium. You know, you need the numbers. So hopefully we will get the numbers. You know what though? You can guarantee Tottenham probably will make a sign in just before, just to dampen any noise from the protest. But we need to, as a fan base, we need to stand up and make Enic aware that we are not happy with what's going on at the club. You know, whether you want Enic in or Enic out, you've got to agree that it's not good enough what's going on at Spurs at the moment. We are a massive club, and I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. We are a massive, massive club, and we need to sort it out. We really do. Really, really do. Um, Rain has just posted something to me. Thank you, Rain. I'm just going to read this out before kickoff. This is for the Man City game at the weekend. Again, big up, Rain. Thank you very much, mate. Meet on the south stand area outside. Bring flags, scarves, banners. Join chants against the owners. Make the message loud before the ball is kicked. During the game, continue the Enic out chants throughout the match. Boycott spending inside the stadium. Don't fund the failure. The 75th minute walkout. At 75 minutes, we encourage all fans to leave the stadium, head to support a local pub, and watch the remainder of the match there. This match is live on TV. The world will be watching. This would make a big statement. If the stadium empties, the message is undeniable. If we stay seated and quiet, the board will ignore us again. Guys, if you are going to that game, if you are going, please, and you want Enoch out and you want change at this club, please, please do what I've just read. You know, even if it's just one of them, you know, do something, because we really do need to get this board out of the club. They are toxic. They are taking the joy out of what we love. Get them gone. Get them out. Let them know how unhappy we are. And big up, Rain. Thank you for sending me that, mate. Much appreciated. Jason says, big up, Nige. I think they should publicly back Frank till the end of the season and review it then. You're right. It's not a Frank issue. And I think this is where I am, mate, at the moment. You know, listen, like I say, I don't think Frank is the man to take us forward long term. I just don't see a point in changing now, because, I mean, I know who I want. I would love Poch back, but I think we're going to have more options in the summer. And maybe this is why Spurs are not bringing in players. I don't know. It's a catch-22, isn't it? It sucks being in this position, but it is what it is. Stephen says money is not an issue. The club needs a complete reset from the top to the bottom. 80% of the players are not good enough. It's a huge job needed, and Enic are not capable. And maybe they are realizing this. Maybe they are realizing this when they come out in the summer and said they're going to make Spurs great again and they were going to put the team first. Maybe they realize it is not as easy as they thought. What would help though is if they actually hired some football people, and maybe, listen, maybe just maybe this is what's coming next, right? They have hired the people they need at the top, even though Charrington apparently doesn't even know how many players filled, you know, a football team. Crazy, crazy. But maybe they've got the businessmen in now. Maybe it's time to start bringing some football men in during the summer. I would love to see a couple of ex-Spurs players on the board, you know, whether that be a Ledley King, you know, Michael Dawson, someone like that, someone who's played for the club, someone who's got love for the club. A Teddy Sheringham, not as manager, a terrible manager, but have him on the board. You know, have some ex-players who actually feel, who actually bleed lily white, instead of people who just couldn't give a toss about the club. Let's be honest, it's all about making money. We need some people who actually love this club. Andrew's in. Morning, Nige. Big up, Andrew. I hope you're well. Toral's in. Saying big up, Nige. Big up to you, mate. I hope you're well. And he says big up to the chat as well. And R. Williams is in, saying morning, Nige and crew. Good morning, R. Williams. I hope you're well. R. Williams, what's your first name? You're always in my chat. You always put comments in. I appreciate you, mate. But yeah, let me know your first name. Is it Rich? Is it Ryan? Is it Roger? Who knows? Who knows? Jay Furnez says, leave Frank in charge. As a United fan, I feel for you guys. Nothing but injuries this season. Things will get better. Big up, buddy. I hope you're well. United absolutely flying, aren't they now? And it just shows what a change of manager can do, though, right? It just shows what a change of manager can do. Whether it's the new manager Banks, I don't know. But I like Michael. Listen, Michael Carrick's a legend. Um, Played for Spurs, was a great player for United as well. The kind of player that Tottenham could do with now, 100%. Jonah, good morning, Nige. Love the show. We are Deadwood FC. We're panicked by one, the last day of the transfer window with overpricing, overachieving players. Big up to you, Jonah. Much appreciated, mate. Yeah, I think we probably will. I've got no doubt we will bring some players in. My fear is that they won't be of the quality. Listen, I still think Robertson will sign, and me personally, I'm quite happy with that signing. I think we need that experience. I think he will do a good job for us. I really do. But we need better. We absolutely need better. Um, and we need those forward areas sorted out. A really top class left winger, if we can. Listen, for me, we don't even have to spend a lot of money. It's not like we have to spend loads and loads. We could go and get a Lookman today. Lookman today, 35 million euros. What's that? 31 million pounds? Get it done. Get it done. Prem proven. Done it in the Premier League. Done it in Italy. You know, African Player of the Year. He's a top player. Bring in a Lookman. And if that's that, you know, then fine. Okay, I'm not happy with it, but fine. At least we've improved that front area. For me, if we could go out though and get a Lookman and Nagaluche and then bring a Robertson in, for me, that's a fantastic window. It's all too late, but it is a fantastic window. So Enic can do something about it. But will they? That's the question. That is the question. Cheryl saying, I'm numb to Tottenham now. If we lose, life goes on. I think that's the way it is, isn't it? It's got to the point now where when we lose, I don't even get pissed off anymore when we lose. You know, we used to lose. It used to ruin my weekend, ruin my night. I couldn't sleep for an hour because I'd be tossing and turning, thinking, how do we lose that? I'd be going through moments in the game. Right now, when we lose, and I say when we lose because we lose more often than we win, it doesn't even affect me at all. It really doesn't. Guys, 70 in the house. Please smash a like, hit the subscribe button as well. Really would appreciate it. 9 away now from 1,400 if I could get there before the end of today's show. That would be amazing. Wiz says meeting today to discuss Juventus approach for Mawani. We will have no one left in the squad at this rate. Yeah, but Mawani doesn't want to be here. Get rid. As long as we're bringing someone in, I'm all up for getting rid of him. Of course, we have got to think about that Champions League squad, though, haven't we? We can change it, though. We can, of course, change 3 players. And it's going to be interesting to see who we change, right? Because if Kinski goes and we bring another keeper in, are we going to add that keeper to the Champions League squad? Or are we just going to go with Austin? I'm guessing we would just go with Austin, but I'm not sure. As for Mawani, I would drive him to Juve. Before I go any further, I have got to say, though, so glad that Mawani and Odegaard are safe. You know, it's as much as we laugh about the injuries and we say, oh, it's typical they had a car crash. You know, it could have been so much worse. So my best wishes go out to both of them. I'm glad they're safe. And yeah, hopefully, they will be fine for tonight's game. And it won't affect them too much. It must have been a scary ordeal for them. Jay Ashraf says, Nige, the positives I can spin out of this circus is that it will force Frank's hand into using the academy players, which I'm more interested in rather than bother with the transfer window crap fest. I think you have a really good point now, Jay. I really do. It'd be nice to see a couple of the younger players play, wouldn't it? I'm at the point now, it's like, you know, we probably are not going down. We do need a couple more wins just to make sure. Just play a couple of the youngsters, you know, at least it gives the fans something to get behind because the team on the pitch at the moment are giving us very little, aren't they? But it is what it is. I don't think that will happen. Stephen says, just a thought, but if Juve wanted Mawani and a deal can be agreed between them and PSG, how about we take Vlahovic to Spurs? I take him all day long, mate. I absolutely love Vlahovic. Me and Cookie were calling him out in the summer, saying this is the man to lead our line. Yes, he hasn't played Premier League football, but I think he is suited to the Premier League. I think he's big, strong, powerful, good in the air. I think he'd do well at Spurs. I really do. I think You know, he's the kind of player that suits the Premier League. So if we could get if we could get him on loan even for 6 months, um, just to see how he does with the possibility of signing him, then I would take that all day long. I would take that all day long, mate. That's banging, absolutely banging, post that. Jimmy says, "Big up, Nige. Good morning. Big up to you, Jimmy. I hope you are well." And Salty Ad said, "Exactly. Enough excuses for what's happening. The squad and recruitment is shit. 100%, mate. We are so poor, recruitment wise. It's depressing. It really is depressing. Ghosted has started a super sticker train. Choo choo. I have got a choo choo somewhere. I'm not going to play it. Big up to you, Ghosted. Much appreciated, mate. I never ask for super chats. I never ask for memberships. What I do ask for is likes and subscriptions because they are absolutely free. But I do appreciate you, Ghosted. I really do. And anyone who wants to put one in, feel free. It is up to you. Kem says, "Morning all. Kinski will free up space, although no idea why we're sending a player to a dogfight rival. This is it, mate. This is it. I know. Listen, I like Kinski. He needs minutes, though, right? He does need to play, but making our rivals stronger and making ourselves maybe slightly weaker, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's a good move. So yes, it is what it is. Sortiad says 75-minute walkout at the UEFA Champions League game. I've heard. Yes, absolutely. I did just read that out a minute ago. I will post it on my page as well after the show. So if you guys want to read exactly what's happening, come onto my page and have a look and you can read it there. But yeah, lots going on for the game against Manchester City. This is the Man City game on the Sunday. I don't know whether there's anything going on tonight. I don't think so, but it is what it is. Cookie said, "The problem is, Rain, the squad is full of average players apart from a few. The manager is underwhelming. The scouts and director of football ain't worth a stroke, and the board are clueless." Says it all. Bang on, bang on. Really hard to disagree with everything there. And then Rain said, "Thank you, mate. Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you." Claire, big up Claire says, "Walk out at the 75th minute." It says it's been reposted. Yes, yes. So, guys, I'll probably read it out again before we finish. But yeah, lots going on. Lots going on. Ghost is saying, "I was done with the club after the summer window. Let's be honest. We were Europa League champions and we never strengthened enough to have a good go at the Champions League. Enic will never change." No, we didn't, did we? Let's be honest, we didn't. Um, disappointing, but we can only move on. Rain says, "I will be walking out, Nige. Fair play to you, Rain. Fair play. It's going to be interesting viewing to see what happens. Hopefully, a lot of the fans, even if 6 or 7,000 do it, it sounds like a lot, but in a 60,000 seaters, even that is not massive. But 5, 6, 7,000 fans walk out in the 75th minute. Enic will notice that. They absolutely will. Claire saying they're incompetent. They absolutely are, 100%. Ghost has said, "I've now seen Poch not back after taking us to the promised land, and now I've seen no ambition after finally winning a trophy and getting a shit ton of cash. I don't see it ever happening with Enic." No, sadly, I'm in agreement. I was really hopeful that when Levy left, this would be a new era for Tottenham Hotspur. That suddenly the board would start putting the team first. I've got an itchy nose. The board would start putting the team first, and we would see something different. But we are seeing much more of the same. In fact, I'll be honest, I think we're seeing worse. I think it's worse. I think it's got worse since Levy's gone. And I get that this isn't an overnight fix, but the club should have some sort of plan, right? We should have some sort of plan of what we're doing, of the players we're bringing in. But we certainly don't seem to at all. Jimmy saying, "I think Austin is better than Kinski, so let him go, but permanently and for a profit, and then use the money towards a forward or two." Fair, fair. I quite like Kinski. I don't think, listen, I don't think there's a lot of difference between Kinski and Austin, if I'm honest, but I do rate Kinski. I do quite like him. And one thing's for sure, though, we need a new number one in the summer. Probably won't get one. Let's be honest. This is Tottenham Hotspur. The Wiz said Ben Johnston and Mateta, Wolves and Forest cast-offs. Is this really how low we've come? Only marquee signing will see if a club buys a 10. Yeah, it's I don't know. We are going for very average players, aren't we? Or seem to be linked with very average players. I just need a quick drink. But it is what it is what we do. Guys, 85 people in the house. Smash that like. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Let's see if we can get to 1,400 subs today. Jessica, big up, says plenty of people available, but either our scouts, director of football, are inept, find crap, or Frank turns them down, or Board says it's too expensive. It's stupid, to be honest. I agree. I agree. There are so many players out there for good value that we could sign and it would make us better. But we're doing nothing. And all we're being linked with is cheap squad players, right? We're being linked with squad players at the moment that are probably nowhere near the first team. And they would come in if we got injuries like now. It's just depressing. It really is. Simon says Jamie O'Hara, he would be fun. I tell you what, he would be fun. Um, yeah, he's certainly have plenty to say, wouldn't he? But let's see. Shara saying get Mabs on there immediately. Yep, another one who would I think be great for Spurs. And Cookie says I'm not interested. Proven over 25 years, Enic are just creaming the profits off. They absolutely are, mate. 100%. Stephen said, I agree with your sentiment there, Nige. Bring the likes of Steve Perryman and Glenn Hoddle into the board to offer guidance. Guys that bleed white and have the club's best interests at heart. Absolutely. And listen, Hoddle wouldn't have done it when Levy was there, but Levy's gone now. So maybe Hoddle would come back. I don't know. I don't know. We certainly would. Even like a Steve Sedgley or David Howells, someone like that, someone who's played for the club, someone who knows the club, someone who loves the club. Steve D's big up, says good morning, Nige. Hope you're well. I am good, mate. I hope you are too. And Kate Rixham's in saying, hi, Nige. I hope you are well. I am really good. Thanks, Kate. I hope you are too. And I hope Spurs is not depressing you too much. Jessica says, yes, 35 million for Lookman, Agaluche 40 million, Ramos 40 million, Robertson 10 million, Neves on loan with buy. See, it's easy, right? I mean, we would get Lookman for probably 35 million, even a bit less. Agaluche for 40, what's that? 75 million. We've already improved our front line. Ramos, I think, is a really good striker. I think if we got him in, he'd score goals in the Premier League. What's that? 115 million. It's not even 150. Add 5 for Robertson. Bish bash bosh. Sorted. It's so easy. But Spurs, oh man, I'd love to work at Tottenham just for a day, just to be in the meetings to see about players, to see who we're signing, just to see what they say about it. Because I just think it's crazy. Margos is in, says you're missing one major point at this club, which AAA player wants to play for Spurs. Certainly no AAA manager will touch them. The club culture is abysmal. I certainly think we're going down that way. I really do. Obviously, I'm a biased Spurs fan. So I kind of think, yeah, who wouldn't want to play for Spurs? Who wouldn't want to manage Spurs? We're the greatest, right? Um, but let's be honest, we are falling like a stone. I still think Tottenham is a massive, massive club. And I still think the top managers would come to Spurs. I do. Maybe I'm delusional for that, but I do. I think if you're a top manager and you come to Spurs and you fail, so what? Every other manager's failed, right? Jose's failed. Conte's failed. They've gone on to do wonderful things at other clubs. I don't think it tarnishes your reputation if you fail at Spurs. But what it does do, if you succeed at Spurs, is make you an absolute legend. Look at Postecoglou, listen, say what we want about him. He was terrible manager, in my opinion, but he got Spurs over the line. He got Spurs to the promised land, and for that, he will always be a legend at Tottenham, for good or bad. So yeah, I don't think we're as I don't think managers would look at us and think, "Oh, I'm not touching them." I really don't. I really don't. I think we could get them, but obviously we'd have to try a little bit harder than the big clubs. Cookie says it definitely affects me. Now 57 years on. Yeah, it's you do become numb to it, don't you, mate? But of course, yeah, you still care. You know, I love this club. I love this club so much. The bloody bastards, but I love them. They're great. They just let us down all the time. Jerry says, by the way, Daniel holds 40% of shares in Enic, so his hands are still in the Spurs pot. He just left because of bad PR. Yeah, but he doesn't have any say in the club, though, does he? Enic and Tottenham are two totally different businesses, right? Enic is Enic. They just own Tottenham. Um, so So yeah, but I think I'm not going to blame Levy for the shit show that we're in right now. I think his hands are clean. I bet he's at home now with his feet up, laughing at the mess at Tottenham Hotspur. Jonak says we need Steve Perryman, Glenn Hoddle, Ledley King, and Gary Mabbott on the Spurs board. Proper Spurs legends. Yeah, I'll take every single one of them in a heartbeat, in an absolute heartbeat. Um, Steven says, walking out on 75 minutes. What if we're winning 1-0 in a really tight game? That's a nightmare ask. Um, yeah, it is. But you know what? Um, I absolutely get you, but we need to do something as a fan base. I'd turn my telly off on 75 minutes, but you're not going to notice me go. So I'll keep it on. I'll keep you informed, Stephen. It's all right. I'll keep you informed of the score. Just stick YouTube on as you're walking out. I'm sure the Two Mark Show will be doing a watch along. So it'll be all good. It'll be all good, mate. Salty Ad says we're in fourth place and 2 points off the top of the away table for this season. At home, we are 19th, and that absolutely says it all, doesn't it? Our home form is absolutely atrocious. And our away form is starting to go that way as well. We were doing really well away. We started to drop points away, which is expected, right? Away from home. But if we could have, picked up 3 more wins at home than what we have, we would be well clear. We would be in that top 10 and we would be looking up. But we're not. It is what it is. Oscar says the Raheem Sterling news has Spurs written all over it, mate. Don't. No, don't. It could happen, right? It could happen. If we sign Raheem Sterling, wow, it would sum it up. It would sum up Tottenham. It can happen. It cannot happen. Um, Absolutely not. But it wouldn't surprise me at all. Kate said the board need to be sacked. They are incompetent, and Lang is the same old shit. I agree 100%. Um, I think for me, Lang is the major one. I just don't think he's the man. But saying that, he has made a few good signings. I just think we're just a mess. We need some football people in there. Like I say, I've got a stinking cold coming. I can feel my nose like really blocked. I feel like I'm talking as if I'm underwater. Prabaldam. Okay. Xavi Hernandez can fix this team. You know what? I like Xavi Hernandez. I just don't think he'd get a tune out of this team, mate. I really don't. Just simply because I don't think he's got the players' technical ability that he would want. I think he'd struggle. Listen, if he got the players he wanted, I think Tottenham could be fantastic. But I don't think coming in now. I think if we brought him in the summer and made 2 or 3 signings to fit his system, I think maybe. But right now, I just think I'm not sure. I'm not sure he could fix them right now. Ghost has said 28 days into the window, and I haven't seen a penny spent apart from the £150 million war chest. Absolute joke of a board. Kind of says it all, doesn't it? I think it was all lies, mate. All to keep us on our toes and keep us buying the shirts, the merchandise, and buying the tickets. And as always, we are left incredibly short. Joe Blogg said, I would prefer Kinski to start for us with Austin as his backup. I'm with you there. I'd drop Vicario altogether and play Kinski for the rest of the season. But it looks like he is going out on loan, guys. Smash that like, 90 of you in the house. Smash that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't. I am 6 subs short of 1,400. So any help today would be much appreciated. Marga says, what happened to the cash they got from winning Europa? Investment in club or Frank's paycheck? Who knows? Who knows? It is. We have so much money that we could spend, right? There is no doubt about it. But we just don't do it. We just do not do it. Lee, big up Lee, says we won't get anybody in, and yet Levy was the problem again. Yes, absolutely. Listen, Levy was part of the problem, but he's gone now. We can't blame him for this shit show. Absolutely not. Prab says Andy Robertson and Holden DFM, defensive midfielder under Xavi, can get this team a trophy next season. I mean, I think we need a little bit more. I do think we need a little bit more than that. But listen, I think we got a holding midfielder, right? In Polinia. You mean like a ball playing midfielder, right? Someone who could, like a Xavi type. Um, yeah, listen, I would take anyone right now. I'm at that point. I just want to see change at Spurs. Jackie says, is this our standard if we do go for Sterling? Yeah. This would be a typical Spurs signing. You know what? It's the sort of signing a West Ham would make, but we are West Ham. We are West Ham currently. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we went for Raheem Sterling, and for me, that would end it all. I would just be like, "What's the point?" And Lee says, "Look at Villa, 2 signings in a matter of hours. Villa are a proper run club, mate. A proper run club. I know both players they've signed are players that used to play for them, right? But they're 2 solid signings, know the Premier League inside out, and they will do Villa a good job. Spurs, we don't even do that. We are so fixated about the injured players and about, oh, well, no, but he might come back. And what's he going to do if he can't get back in the side? Tough shit. You're injured, mate. Bring some players in of real quality. And when the injured players come back, they have to fight for their place. Yeah. That's what makes a good squad. That's what makes a good team. And that's what makes teams get near the top instead of signing squad players for the squad players. You know, we got squad players injured, so we're trying to sign a couple of squad players. So when the squad players come back, we got squad players fighting for squad positions. It makes no sense. It is what it is. Jason says, I was all for letting Levy go, but Vinay is totally the wrong replacement. He's ex-Arsenal, for God's sake. Where's the thinking now? There's got to be a more appropriate individual. And again, Vinay was brought in because of his business acumen. Yeah, he is a very good businessman, but he knows absolutely F all about football. And let's be honest, we say what we want about Levy, and Levy did a lot wrong at Spurs, but I feel like at least he knew a little bit about football. I don't feel like anyone in the club now, currently in that board, know anything about football at all. I mean, I may be a little bit maybe exaggerating a little bit when I said Levy knew something about football. He probably didn't know too much, but I feel like he knew more than the current board. Ghost has said, it's always the hope that kills you with this club. Why would they come to us, say we have 150 million war chests, just to spend nothing? And they wonder why the fans are so mad. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. But it is what it is, right? Jessica says, I think they could be selling up, hence no signings. That's the hope. That's the hope. And that would be the only thing, right, that would make not signing anyone or anyone of note okay this window if they were selling up. If February the 2nd come and we've signed nobody and the fans are in uproar, if the next day Enic announced that the club was selling and, you know, there was a new investor taking over. But I do say it has to be an investor that puts a team first. What does worry me, this shiny new stadium and all the facilities that go with it. Whoever comes in, whoever buys this club, they're going to use it as a cash cow as well, right? They're not going to come in and say, I'm just going to put all my money into the team. they're gonna buy it because there's a lot of money to be made at Tottenham. But our only hope is they do start putting money into the team as well. Let's hope they do. But fingers crossed for Enic selling. Andrew Gregory says, take Mark Falco out of the legends and put him up front. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. What a player. Loved Mark Falco back in the day. Remember the goal he scored against Bayern Munich in the quarterfinal of the UEFA Cup back in the day. I can just remember my dad coming up to me. I was in bed. We'd lost 1-0, I think, in Munich, or 2-1. I can't remember. I was young. We took them back to White Hart Lane, needing to win. And I can just remember my dad running up the stairs when I was in bed. I must have been about 10, 11, and said, oh, Mark Falco's just scored. Tottenham are winning. And I woke up in the morning, we had won 2-0 to go into the semi-finals. And yeah, Mark Falco was a big favourite of mine. Ghost says, when Hoddle talks about the club, you can hear the pain in his voice. Absolutely. I agree with you there. Drula's in. Morning, Nigel chat. Good morning to you, Drula. I hope you are well. Burks, born and bred, says Enic and the rest of the behind-the-scenes scam artists need to do a face-to-face conference with us fans. But we all know they're a bunch of cowards who hide behind false words. You know what? I think that's a really good idea. I think that's a really good idea if, obviously, not 60,000 fans just screaming at the screen, but if we, had a couple of fans who would, represent us all, a Billy T, for instance, who would represent us and would do a Zoom call with, Vinay or Charrington or whoever. And just so we would know exactly what was going on, instead of coming out with these absolute bollocks of, sound bites just before a protest. We need real words and we need some truth. We need some truth. Lee says, should get Dougie Freedman. Look what he did for Palace. What, to play for us? He was a good striker back in the day. Get Clive Allen back. That's what I say. Jimmy Neutron says, first time on the channel. Big up to you, mate. Smash a like, hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Really would appreciate it. Welcome to Pure Coys. Margaret says, thanks for the reply. Spurs is a wonderful club, but my point with managers not wanting to touch them was that they know they will not be supported at all. Got you. Absolutely. And yeah, I agree 100%. They don't get backed. They don't get backed in the way that they should. And it is, and this is what's so frustrating as a fan, right? We can blame the managers, and we have over the years, and I've blamed Frank, and I blamed Ange, and I blamed Conte, and I blamed Jose, and even towards the end, I blamed Poch. But the bottom line is, no manager is backed properly. And Enic have made promises. They have let us down again and again and again, and they continue to let us down. And it is so depressing. Lee Payne says, may the force be with you. Come on, you Spurs, and with you. I hope you're well, my friend. I am 5 subs short. 5 subs short of 1,400. Any help would be much appreciated. If you've not subbed to the channel, smash that subscribe button. Smash that like button as well. It is so important. Mike Pepper says, it's obvious Enic have no clue how to run a football club or have any interest in it. Just money people who need to go. Absolutely, 100%. And all we can hope is that by seeing how unhappy the fans are, they finally realise that they're not the people to take us forward, and they do sell out. My fear is they will ignore us because they're making too much money. But let's see what happens. Big up to you, Mike. Kate says, Nige, I am upset with this effing football club. It's getting me down. I feel your pain, Kate. I really do. I feel your pain. I've got to a point now where I'm just not laughing about it, but it's almost just like, oh, this club are just this club, right? We've all supported them long enough, and they just do what they do, and it is what it is. Marcus says, morning, Nige. Good morning to you, Marcus. I hope you're well, mate. And Cookie says, Vinay will be all over the Sterling deal, mate. If we sign Sterling, I mean, if we sign Sterling, wow. I mean, that would just be crazy. Lee Payne says, what's this about no goals? Moani having a car crash and the VDV injury. Yes, he had a car crash with Wilson Odobert, both safe and well, though, which is fantastic news. It really is. And VDV is apparently a minor injury, which means he could be out for a month or two. We will see. Not expected. Obviously, he's not travelled today. Not expected to make the team for the Man City game either. So let's hope he's back after that. We really do need him for these next 4 games, if possible, don't we? And Lee says Villa couldn't wait to get Lang out. Agreed, they couldn't, and they were 17th when he left. And look at them now, and look at us. Look at us. One common denominator, right? It's not all on Lange, but he's certainly not the man for me. Marcus says Spurs is a business, not a football club. I agree 100%. And Kate says, nice. Did you know Porro's out for 4 weeks? Just read this club is effed. Yep, apparently Porro is out for 4 weeks with a hamstring injury. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he's out for longer again. And I talked about it last night. I think he's been overplayed. He's been overplayed and overworked, and finally it's happened, right? Porro never gets injured, and finally overplaying him has got him injured. But it is what it is. Listen, for me, I'm not too fussed about Porro being injured, not because I don't like him, but like I say, he's played and played and played. It was always going to happen. I think he could do with the rest, to be honest. Hopefully he comes back fitter and better than ever. I'm not a massive Porro fan, but I do think maybe part of it is because he has been overplayed that much. Lee says 9th richest club in the world. Says it all, doesn't it? Marcus says Vicario, Kinski, Vicario is rubbish. Agreed. Joe Blogg said, oh no, Porro. It is what it is, mate. Mr. Simon Hill says profit over glory. Always, always. You know, always. Big up to you, Joe. Oscar said, Nige, how many points do you think we get during February? I think we will get 3 points. I think we will win one of those 4 games, lose the other 3. So I think we will get, so I say 4 points. I think we get 3 points from the next 4 games. Simon said, is Polina fit tonight? Apparently he's fit. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. And Cookie says VDV hasn't travelled either. No, he hasn't. He absolutely hasn't. Guys, I'm going to have to call it a day in a moment. I'm just going to go through some of the chats I haven't seen. Leon, big up Leon, said Vicario, Hugo's cousin wants to go back home. I haven't got a problem with Vicario leaving. I really haven't. Tom THFC says Villa have a top manager. That's why they look on the lad we're going up to nowhere with him. Yeah, I agree. Villa have a top manager. They really do. And they're just a proper run club, aren't they? Jimmy says it may be the best stadium in the championship if they're not careful. I'm serious. It really could be. It really could be. And Simon says Falco go against Arsenal in a 5-0 win in the 80s with a volley. Yes. Yeah, listen, Mark Falco was never prolific, was he? He wasn't a 20-goal a season striker, but he always got important goals for Spurs. Loved a bit of Mark Falco. Julia says we're a bit linked with Sam Johnson with Kinski going to West Ham. Again, you know, much of a muchness. I guess in maybe the English quota. I don't know. I think he's decent, Johnson, but I don't think he's, you know, needle moving. But it is what it is. It's squad players, isn't it? We're buying. And R. Williams says that Villa also got rid of Lange. Look at them now. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, I am going to leave it there. I've got to go to work. Thank you so much for everyone that joined me. Marianne has just come in. Morning, Nigel, and all in the chat. Good morning to you, Marianne. Guys, have a fantastic day. Hopefully, Spurs get that win tonight that we vitally need. And hopefully over the next 3 or 4 days, we actually bring in some quality. Have a great Wednesday, guys. Don't forget to smash that like, subscribe if you haven't on the way out. And as always, stay positive, stay poised, and stay pure Coys.